CEO. Green energy, green belt is the most focus and thrust of the government. Everywhere you will find that the green energy. Now I request Mr. Amit Kumar, please come forward, and I request CEO Green Belt to please come forward and accept a memento as a gesture from our side, from the side of National Thinkers Forum, whose president is Dr. Binod Dugar. Please give a big hand for Dr. Dugar. Now, there are some protocol and there are some duties also. Among that duty, I being the Secretary General of National Thinkers Forum, it's my duty to honor my President, and this is the only privilege I have got from my President, and I honor my President, Dr. Binod Dugar, for coming and sparing his valuable time for this function. Please. There is one very special guest, and she deserves also, and I request and invite Madam High Commissioner to please come forward and accept a token of respect and love from our side. I request Madam Manjari to please give a token of love and respect to Madam, please. Thank you very much, Excellency High Commissioner. Now I again hand over to you to continue with further program. Thank you very much, Excellency High Commissioner.
Thank you very much, Dr. Singh. I'm also having my team here. I have my Deputy High Commissioner Grace Chuba, and all diplomats here. Please come forward so that people should see you. Come forward so that people can see you. I know they are quite tied up, and of course, Dr. Singh has already done the needful. Agnes, my spouse, former diplomat and advisor for me. So whatever you are seeing on me and whatever I do, you should know that behind it there is a professional person. I used also to be a spouse to her when she was a diplomat in Canada and France. But at that time I never knew that I would become an ambassador at a certain level. So that's Grace Chuba. And you can introduce your others who are here. You can come and introduce them.
Good morning. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, and our Honorable Minister Sostin Queen, and the leader of the education. To my left here, we have our First Secretary, Mr. Joseph Gawinga. This one is First Secretary Investment, Tourism, sorry. And we also have Madam Rejoice Kawale, who is the Third Secretary Administration. And we also have Madam Mrs. Donata Chitsonga. She's the First Secretary Trade. And also we have with us our own First Secretary Political, Mr. James Nshani. And to the far, we have Mr. Dalito Chipua, who is our Second Secretary Consular. Thank you so much, Your Excellency.
So these are the people that I work with every day here. in New Delhi. And specifically for trade, the trade attaché, Madam Chitsong, I think we have been traveling together as a team. Joseph Kawinga, tourism, and we have actually been marketing Malawi. But today we have a special privilege that we have experts that we are going to hear. So according to the program, I'll cut it short and I'll start with my opening remarks. Quite a pleasure for me to stand before you, the entire business captains. Now we go to the protocols. Honorable Sosten Gwembe, MP, Minister of Trade and Industry, Government of Malawi. And we are just waiting for Honorable Sam Kawale, MP, Minister of Agriculture, Government of Malawi. We have also waiting for Madam Halima Daudi, Deputy Minister of Health, Government of Malawi. We have Principal Secretaries, Madam Christina Zakeo, Minister of Trade and Industry, Madam Adrena Chiel, PS for Technical Services, and Minister of Agriculture is here. We have various CEOs. Please be standing wherever you are. CEO Paul Kongwele, Mr. Kavambe, Chizungu. We have our Deputy CEO for NBS Bank. You are welcome here from the private sector, and anyone that is standing representing an entity. Thank you very much. That's your day today. And in brief, I greet you today on this beautiful morning, specifically for Malawi, here in New Delhi, India, the northern part, where the weather is anything. It becomes hot, it rains, it also becomes very cold. But here we are, technology is prevalent in this economy. This marks a great excitement during my 3-year stay here in India as a representative of the government of Malawi, where we are witnessing the presence of, for the first time, cabinet ministers coming to conduct a Malawi Day. And partly, this is a great success during my tour of duty. We started in 2022 when I had arrived on 2nd January. So I had spent flying on 1st January when I had been confirmed by Parliament and approved by the Indian government to be a representative. And I never knew that I would work in Asia before, because I had a Western stint, but I had no Asian experience. But it was a wonderful time to come here and feel at home, because I found people warm and they live as a family. So having a team of big businesses here has been a huge success for us. Like in May, through the India Trade Organization, we had a 50-member delegation that camped in Malawi to seek opportunities for trade. And they had meetings with various sectors of government and the private sector. That was a milestone in the diplomacy of Malawi, such a big delegation. And the people are here, and I request you, all of you who are here, to get in touch with these officials, inclusive the Minister of Trade. This, therefore, brings a great opportunity for us to befriend and make sure that in this global world we have common values. But I wanted to say we should have a paradigm shift where as the Minister of Trade suggested during the conclave, that Malawi is not only looking for trade, it is looking for means of production, that is manufacturing and industry in agriculture and all areas of our economy. We have traded enough, maybe since the 18th century. Now you need to put down your factories, your companies, microchips and the like, the cyber world there, in order for us also to develop. I have seen that your society has developed to this level, but you also started small. And you have grown big that you are now shooting the bigger powers. Now you are number 5 GDP size in the world. So I urge all of us, and we need your support in order to achieve these endeavors. Therefore, I wish to also to thank the Indian government for allowing us and my superiors here, my principals, Minister of Trade, for receiving them during the conclave, and also all the protocols that have granted us. I don't have to take much of your time. I thank you very much. Good morning. We'll be pausing a bit, and I think it's the beauty of India. We need to facilitate Honorable Sam Kawale, Minister of Agriculture. Over to you, Dr. Singh.
Thank you, Excellency. First of all, on behalf of Dr. Vinod Dugar, on behalf of National Thinkers Forum, I welcome Honorable Agriculture Minister of Government of Malawi. Please give a big hand as a welcome. I request the Joint Secretary of National Thinkers Forum to please present a memento on behalf of our organization, RDB Group, as a mark of token and respect towards him. His speech, and we wanted to make a play. There is some small problem. Just 1 minute, please bear with us. My apology to everybody. Okay, so after the speech, in the meantime you get prepared. As directed by Honorable Minister Trade, can I invite him? Or you like? Please you invite him.
I invite you
Please
as
invite
a director of ceremony. Thank you. It's my singular honor and privilege for a man that I knew, and he invited me to Kolkata and hosted us there. When we hosted the Malawi conference, we were discussing issues about investments, specifically in agriculture, technology. They eat a lot of rice there, and so this is the opportunity that Dr. Dunga you have to make here. But because they say they want to introduce you first, let me invite PS Trade so that the floor should be the ministers can speak after you have spoken. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much. Honorable Sosten Kwegwe MP, the Minister of Trade and Industry, and Honorable Sam Dalit Sokawale MP, the Minister of Agriculture, Your Excellency Mr. Leonard Mengesi, the Malawi High Commissioner to India, and Your Excellency Dr. Dunga, the Honorary Council for Malawi in Kakota, and our trade envoy, Mr. Maheshi Kotecha, senior government officials here present, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and all protocols observed. Let me welcome you, honorable ministers, Your Excellencies and distinguished invited business captains, to the first ever Malawi Day session organized soon after the India-Africa Business Conclave. Of course, my simple duty this morning is to invite the honorable ministers to address the audience. But before I do that, allow me to say a few words. The Malawi Day has been organized with the sole purpose of showcasing Malawi's capabilities to trade and investment opportunities available across all the sectors of our economy. And the opportunities across many economic sectors in Malawi can provide tremendous returns to foreign and local investors alike. And it is my hope that this event will encourage robust dialogue and information sharing about our investment environment, as it will highlight opportunities for direct investment and trade between Malawi and India. As a guardian of trade and investment policy, we are deeply committed to maintaining trade policy stability and consistency. And equally importantly, you'll be able to connect directly with policymakers at the highest level, as well as technical experts, project owners, and potential partners who can support your investment and trade ambitions in Malawi. And the government of Malawi is proactive and also pro-business, and will favorably promote investments that have transformative impact on our economy as well as our national profile, and will do our utmost best to create an enabling environment for the success of your investments in our country. And Malawi stands ready to welcome every one of you with open arms. Honourable Ministers and Your Excellencies, finally, I think I'll fail my duties if I don't recognize this eminent person, Dr. Duka, the Honorary Council of Malawi in Kakiota, for the tremendous financial and logistical support rendered to us to make this event a reality. We sincerely acknowledge and thank you for the immense gesture demonstrated. Let me also thank Mr. Sunil, our Trade Commissioner in Gujarati, for mobilizing this great business community. And without your participation, this Malawi Day would have been a failure. Furthermore, I thank all colleagues from the various government departments, the private sector, and the High Commission for the support, and also the sharing of ideas that made the organization of this session possible and a successful reality. I think with these few remarks, I think let me stop here, because I'm aware that I think firstly, our Excellency will have to introduce our Consular General, and thereafter I think our Honorable Ministers will be asked to deliver the keynote addresses. In this regard, let me thank you all for listening, and welcome to Malawi. Takulandirani. Sikomo.
Also, I wanted to recognize ITO Group, Sunil, and I wanted special, this is the team of 50 business captains that went to Malawi. And please stand, led by the Deputy President. 2 minutes if you can be able to say something. 2 minutes. A pleasure indeed. Say something.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Wali Kashmi, Vice President at the Indian Economic Trade Organization. Earlier this year, we were in Malawi, and I think with the support of Mr. Katecha, Excellency, Honorable Ministers there as well, it was definitely a pleasure to meet everyone. What we did during our visit was extremely exciting, because the days that we spent there was quite intense, meeting several businesses, meeting several ministers, looking at the opportunity And what I can definitely say is, what we get here and what we see in the images is extremely different to what you're out there. And when you meet people and the people-to-people connect that we got and what we were able to establish was absolutely phenomenal. So, basis that as an outcome, what we've already done is the SCDC Gujarat office is anyway that we set up before we left. We are also looking at setting up the SCDC Southern India office in Malawi. We plan to set that up as well, and also the Commonwealth office. So these are some of the things in a single visit that we are actually looking at establishing and building this up as well. And along with that, we had the India-Africa Medical Commission team that was there, where we were looking at, they visited the hospitals, they visited various areas, and looking at implementing certain technologies that we've got in India that we're actually looking at setting up from Malawi. So, I can definitely say it's a land of opportunity, and when the ministers and excellency, when they say something that it is, it is definitely, it's open for investment and friendship. I can back it and I can second it, every way possible, because we've been there, we've seen it, and we've experienced it. So thank you, Excellency, for the hospitality, and thank you everyone for being here. Appreciate it.
In fact, we have some technical problem. However, I will play that video. It's a very short video that is a kind of introduction. Dr. Vinod Dugar, he is a promoter of RDB Group, and the RDB Group is into the all sector, which includes reality, which includes defense, and he has funded many more startups and many more companies. That video itself will explain a lot many things, because speaking from my side will rather be seeing from the video, and you can visualize that what is Dr. Vinod Dugar, and we are extremely grateful that he has given his valuable time to be here. Now, with the kind permission of Excellency High Commissioner, can I invite Dr. Dugar to please deliver his address. Dr. Vinod Dugar, please.
Pranam, Honorable MP, Minister of Trade and Industry, Government of Malawi, Honorable Minister of Agriculture, Government of Malawi, Honorable Deputy Health Ministers, I think he is about on the way, Madam Secretary, Trade and Industry, Government of Malawi, His Excellency, High Commissioner of Malawi, government officials and delegates from Malawi, and distinguished guests. First of all, I congratulate all of you on Malawi Day. I welcome honorable ministers and delegates from Malawi. All of you must have participated in India-African conclave, and there must be a very fruitful discussion in respect of enhancing the trade and investment between India and Africa. Honorable, I would also like to mention that our present government, under the leadership of our beloved Prime Minister, Sri Narendra Ji Modi, is very keen to enhance trade and investment between India and Africa. When His Excellency High Commission told me regarding this event, I was so anxious and gracious that yes, the great thing is happening, what our government is thinking as well as Malawi government is thinking. His Excellencies and Honorable, I am really thankful that you came to the Indian capital, but other parts of the country is also great, where a lot of rich cultures and other aspects are there. Day has come when between the boundaries between the countries should be removed and the business opportunities should be enhanced. Government of India as well as the people of India are fully convinced that yes, there is a global thing which we can all put together and make the whole world proud and bring the smile to proud to in every people. His Excellency, MP sir, when I sat with you, then I understood that yes, that there are a lot of health opportunities available in the part of the Malawi. But according to me, that's not an opportunity, that's every citizen's responsibility to create health infrastructure throughout the world, where we can see the bright smile in everybody's face. His Excellency, my good office under the leadership of Dr. S.P. Singh will be fully committed that we will pursue in all way with Government of India to start the rupee trade with Malawi so that the business transactions will go to the next level. His Excellency, Indian youths are going in big way with lot of technical supports are there, and our Exim Bank is also supporting the trade between the African countries as well as country with India. We are bound to take and make our trade benefited to the people of Malawi and bring lot of business insights and knowledge from Malawi to India and India to Malawi. Thank you once again everybody. Jai Hind.
Minister, with due apology, there is a one very high rank officer of the IDBI Bank. I invite Mr. Amaya to please come forward and just deliver your small speech that what IDBI can do with Malawi and Indian government. Mr. Amaya, please come forward. Amaya ji, please.
Good afternoon, good morning everyone, and it's my pleasure and honor to come and see you all here. I represent IDBI Capital, and I invest in the companies. I head the private equity department over here. I invest in the companies which are strategic in nature, which is into defense, aerospace, and deep tech companies. There is, of late, you must be hearing that a lot of exports happening in defense aerospace sector from India, and there is a line of credit which has been established between India and Africa, where especially for, it is called defense line of credit. We all are hearing this in the news and in the media news. So to establish a relationship with a deep relationship with African countries, we are very keen to do a trade and manufacturing setup in African countries, and using the defense line of credit can really boost the trade opportunity.
Is a season?
Yeah. So it will definitely boost our trade relationship with strategic technology. I always believe that in Indian startup ecosystem also, startups contribute a lot of significant contribution in the growth of our GDP and innovation. Globally, it has been observed that innovation happens in small companies only. Big companies acquire small companies and say that their innovation. So I feel that startup ecosystem can be if you have a good synergy with the startup ecosystem from India and Malawi, it will definitely boost the trade relationship as well as our economic relationship will definitely benefit both the countries. There is one more opportunity which I feel that in the mining and agriculture sector, where we can actually do a manufacturing setup for maybe for agriculture equipment post harvesting technology, which will enhance the shelf life of the fruits, vegetables and all. So there are a lot of technology which is available now and going to develop very soon with the help of department of related to atomic energy and all, which will help the country that post-harvesting the shelf life has increased from 30 days to 6 months. And it has been accepted globally that if use of this technology which will not only fetch the good prices for the farmers, but also it will be good for the economy and export oriented companies. With respect to health tech and so with respect to healthcare technology as well, we can outsource a lot of companies, which is very useful for African countries, because health tourism is one of the things which India is doing right now, and we can of course establish a lot of good hospitals and equipment which is very useful. This is called remote healthcare system, where the pricing for the particular test or particular medicine is 1/10 of the traditional price. So where technology plays a very important role, and I feel that if this kind of tech companies we can have association with Malawi, it will definitely help both the countries together. I will stop my speech over here. Thank you very much for inviting me, and thank you Duga sir for giving me this opportunity to explain everything to the honorable members over here. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Excellency, my apology. Don't treat me a hijacker. I'm not a hijacker. But with regards 1 minute video, it is my personal request, Honorable Minister. So please carry on immediately.
Dr. Vinod Dugar is a seasoned entrepreneur and businessman with over 25 years of experience in diverse industries. As the promoter of the RDB Group, the rapidly emerging business conglomerate in India, Dr. Vinod has played a crucial role in driving the group's growth and success with investments in real estate, infrastructure, tobacco, bulk packaging solutions, transport and logistics, automobiles marketing, FMCG products, defense, education, hospitality, entertainment. The RDB Group is poised to become a leading player in the Indian business landscape. Apart from his role in the RDB Group, Dr. Vinod Dugar is also the chairman of JICO Administrative Training Foundation. He is also the honorary consul of the Republic of Malawi in Kolkata. Dr. Vinod is an active angel investor of JICO Angel Network, which has invested in more than 30 startups across various sectors. He is a strong believer in the power of innovation and supports companies that are working towards creating disruptive solutions. The RDB Group's investments in startups demonstrate Dr. Vinod's commitment to supporting emerging entrepreneurs and driving innovation. The RDB Group has also invested in several established companies including RRP, Export E Private Limited, Flip It Money, MPC Industries Limited, Flybin, Tarmart, Taj Aravali Resort and Spa, Udaipur Just Vegan, LDC Media Entertainment Company Limited and RS Education. RDB has invested in the Goa-based company SFC Environment and has also invested in a solar power project. RDB Group has invested in the defense sector by acquiring stakes in various defense companies. Dr. Vinod and the RDB Group are active participants in social enterprises including the Iron School, STEM World School and Kusum Devi Sundar Lal Rural Jain Dental College and Hospital. Dr. Vinod is also a committed philanthropist with a noble vision with initiatives like the RDB Foundation, Jain International Trade Organization, Shri S.L. Dugar Charitable Trust and Shri Sachiya Ma Seva Trust. Dr. Vinod Dugar is a proud member of Kinder Kashi, an Indian professional football club based in Varanasi, Uttar Pradesh. Overall, Dr. Vinod Dugar is a visionary leader and entrepreneur who has made significant contribution to the Indian business landscape.
Honorable Ministers, I forgot one thing. We have Mr. Makata from ADMAC. He has been looking for markets. Can I give you 2 minutes? Just 2 minutes.
Honorable Ministers of Trade, Honorable Minister of Agriculture, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. I will not try to preempt the speeches my ministers are going to say, but just to mention that ADMAC is ready to be your trading partner as far as agriculture products is concerned. So we are here. Please, let's talk as far as commodities is concerned. We want to partner with businesses and institutions in India that we can work together in the production of agricultural commodities, trading of agricultural commodities, but also value addition of agricultural commodities. I've been given 2 minutes. I don't want to preempt my minister's speech because I know my minister is going to handle that. Thank you very much.
Now we'll be strict. I just wanted, because he said he didn't actually meet the right people. So I wanted to front him because of that. Honorable Minister, my apologies. But it was for that reason, so that the people know him, they will do it on one-to-one. I therefore take this opportunity to invite the Minister of Agriculture to deliver his speech.
Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you. Let me recognize the presence of the Minister of Trade, Honorable Sosten Gwengwe, the PS of Trade, and everyone who has joined the team from the ministry, as well as the PS from the Ministry of Agriculture, who has joined me together with our different enterprises, including Agriculture Development and Marketing Corporation CEO, who just spoke recently. We are here together with other team members from the Ministry of Agriculture to talk about the opportunities that are there in the agriculture sector. Let me also ride on the protocols that have already been mentioned by my previous speakers. Ladies and gentlemen, Malawi is ready and has been ready for some time to welcome you to invest in the agriculture sector. But this time around it's a little bit different because we are now putting a lot of emphasis to increase productivity, to make sure that our economy is growing stronger. Now, specifically, we are following the Malawi's Vision 2063, which has put agriculture productivity, commercialization, and mechanization as one of the key pillars to make sure that our economy is growing. Now, in that Vision 2063, broken down in 10-year implementation plans, there's also what we're calling the ATM strategy, agriculture, tourism, and mining. On the agriculture part, that's where I want to emphasize in a very short time because I want to leave enough time for my Minister of Trade to elaborate and build on what we want to do in the trade space of the country. Now, as we're trying to focus on agriculture productivity, commercialization, there are 5 things that I want to let you know as the low-hanging fruits or opportunities that you have in the agriculture sector. First of all, I'm happy that we're talking about some of you who are in the finance sector. The opportunity that we have is that there are a lot of people in Malawi who are now going to invest in agriculture productivity. Unfortunately, we do not have a lot of financing institutions who can provide, first of all, affordable financing mechanisms, low interest, and secondly, what we might call patience financing. Because we all know that if you're investing in agriculture, you need a little bit of time for you to start getting the benefits. So for those of you who are in the finance sector, you have an opportunity where close to 80% of the population are in the agriculture sector and they need access to financing. This is where you can fill in that space. We're looking for you to come and help us to provide that access to financing in the agriculture sector. Secondly, for crops to grow, we need a lot of inputs, specifically fertilizer. Now, since a lot of people are going into agriculture, we need more companies to invest in fertilizer production or even bringing in fertilizer that is affordable. But Our soil health is not very good at the moment, so we need to improve soil health to increase production. That's why as a country, specifically agriculture sector, we are looking for investors who can invest in organic fertilizer or organomineral fertilizer, including nano fertilizer technologies. That's an opportunity that you have to come and invest in provision of farm inputs, specifically the fertilizer industry. Third of all, climate change is there to stay. But we are not just sitting idle without doing anything. That's why there's a big investment in the irrigation sector. At the moment, we've experienced 2 or 3 years of a decline in production because of cyclones or dry spells. However, the country is blessed with a lot of rivers and lakes that have got water all year round. It is for that reason we want to encourage you to bring that technology for us to invest in irrigation so that we can produce not 3 times a year or 4 times a year, but we want to produce every day because we have land, labor, as well as water resources. That is a space we want you to come and fill in by bringing in that technology. So as we think of financing, inputs, and irrigation, we also have a 4th area that we want to encourage you to come and fill in the agriculture sector, and that is mechanization. We want to move away from handheld tools to mechanization, exactly what has been happening in India. Your agriculture sector has developed because you have equipment for small, medium, and large-scale farmers. We are looking for investors who can bring that technology to help us to increase production and productivity by having access to technology as we're moving towards mechanization. And lastly, commercialization. After production, we need to value add what we have produced. That's where we're looking for companies to come and invest or partner with companies in Malawi, including ADMAC, as the CEO of ADMAC said a few minutes ago. We are ready to welcome investors in a PPP arrangement, or you come and invest 100% in that space, because we are going to produce more after fulfilling the 4 things I talked about: financing, fertilizer, irrigation, and mechanization. Once we produce everything, what has been produced, we don't want to export it raw, but it needs to be processed. Value addition. That is a space we want you to fit in. Malawi is ready. I don't know what you're waiting for, but we want to make sure that we do what we're supposed to do. Thank you very much.
That's a wonderful speech from the Minister of Agriculture, Honorable Sangam. Now it's my singular honor and privilege to invite the leader of delegation, Honorable Sostin Kwengwe, Minister of Trade and Industry.
Allow me to recognize the presence of the ministers, the Minister of Agriculture, Honorable Sam Kaware, the Deputy Minister of Health, Honorable Halima Daud. Let me also recognize Dr. Vinod Dunga, our esteemed host, the Principal Secretaries from Ministry of Trade, Ministry of Agriculture, our moderators, Your Excellency, Ambassador, and the Secretary General here. Allow me to say all protocol observed. With pleasure, let me extend a warm welcome to you all, our distinguished invited guests and partners, and please receive the warm greetings from the government of Malawi and the people of Malawi. And the Malawi Day session here in New Delhi, India, has been organized to provide a platform where business interests between Malawi and India can be shared and discussed. As you know, the conclave is a big platform, and sometimes it does not allow us to zero in specifically on what Malawi has to offer. And I thank the organizers, the Malawi Investment and Trade Center, the Ministry of Trade, the Ministry of Agriculture, indeed the embassy here for collaborating with our partners here to organize a day where we'll talk nothing but Malawi and India. And I think it's an important day because for some of you who might not have traveled to Malawi, the whole fabric of the Malawi economy, a very big proportion of it is really built by India. Maybe Mr. Kotecha, if you can just stand for a minute. Mr. Kotecha is a third generation Malawian of Indian descent. And if you just round up all Malawians with Indian descent, you would see that it's a majority of people, and there is no any other race in Malawi that is very well represented as India represents itself in Malawi. And the economy of Malawi, you would see that a big proportion of it is indeed our partners, our colleagues, our brothers and our sisters from India, so to speak. Allow me to say that having concluded the conclave, our main objective today is to give us the platform so that we can zero in and start talking the specific sectors. We do have the health sector, and the Deputy Minister of Health is here. If you can also just stand for a minute, and all officials that are coming from the Ministry of Health. So you have other officials coming from the Ministry of Health. They would want to specifically speak to those that are interested in hospitals, pharmaceuticals, in running of hospitals, building of hospitals, selling of medicines, and everything else that deals with the health sector. Instead of just having a group discussion or a rounded up discussion, we want us to break into small groups after we've done these presentations so that you speak to the right people in the right areas. We do have the Minister of Agriculture, but specifically we have officials from ADMAC. So ADMAC is our marketing and agriculture marketing corporation, which deals with the trading of purses, trading of pretty much everything that grows. And the CEO for that institution in Malawi, government institution, is the one that gave himself a very small introduction earlier on, and is here to speak to you on what you can trade with Malawi in. And at the end, we also allow those that have interest in importation of various agricultural products to speak to the CEO right there. We also have a team from the Green Belt Authority. I know the chairman is here, the CEO is here. If you can also just stand where you are so that people can also see you. So, as the Minister of Agriculture did say, our agriculture has been at a smaller scale. This time around, the vision as espoused by His Excellency the President, Dr. Lazarus Chakwera, championed by the Ministry of Agriculture, is to make sure that our agriculture is commercialized, so that we open mega farms, so that production, even yields per acre or per hectare, is improved. And all that is very well represented here by the Green Belt Authority colleagues that are encouraging irrigation farming and mega farms or scaled up farming. And I would want at some time those that are interested in farming to speak to these colleagues when we break for the lunch. We also have a vibrant mining sector, and there are colleagues from the mining ministry. I think they are here. If you're there, just stand up. Those that are in mining, thank you. So you'll be able to look at. There's also a group of people that are in energy infrastructure, whether it's solar energy, whether it's any kind of energy infrastructure. I don't know if our colleagues from the Ministry of Energy are already here. Yeah, so make yourself available. Those investors that might want to hear a little bit more on the energy sector, we have colleagues who are experts in those areas and they can facilitate such kind of conversation. And lastly, we have colleagues that are from the Ministry of Education that now deal with investment in the education sector. They are right at the back. So the reason why we had to come as ministers is to do the high-level pitching of opportunities that are available in Malawi. Specifically, we're looking at the ATM, as the Minister of Agriculture did say, the agriculture, the tourism, but also the mining area. But you need enablers, so you need energy, you need skilled people, you need, so all these other sectors, or healthy people, all these other sectors are enablers for us to be able to achieve our grand vision, the Malawi 2063, through the agriculture, tourism, and mining strategy, which we dump the ATM strategy. So we've pitched as ministers the commitment at the highest level to welcome investors in Malawi is it's unparalleled, and we are here just to give you that assurance that you make your decision to invest in Malawi, you'll be taken care of, you'll be hand-held up until you're able to establish and run on your own. Malawi, in a very small synopsis, for some of you who have not traveled, is dumped in the warm heart of Africa. Because of the warmth of the people, you would walk in Malawi at night during the day without looking over your shoulders, because the people are such warm, smiling every time, resilient and hardworking. And I know we have colleagues who have established themselves in Malawi as ambassadors. They will speak to you about that a little later on. But those of you who heard my speech, is it yesterday or 2 days ago rather, I did mention something else about Malawi being a country that has never experienced war. Not that we have no differences, we do have differences, but we believe in the rule of law, we believe in contact and dialogue, and that's how we have managed to be a peaceful nation to date. And I did say in that speech that in Malawi, and pretty much only in Malawi, do you have a court, the judicial part of government, being able to offer or being able to nullify an election result, and also being able to order that that election be taken again. And the new candidate wins, and yet business continues going unabated, continues going undisturbed. Because the picture many investors have is of an Africa which is volatile, which has no rule of law, where everything goes. But I wanted to pitch Malawi as a suitable investment destination where you will be facilitated at a political level, at a social level, because the fabric that makes Malawi is like India, is like your second home, and it is a place where you'll be able to trade as a land-linked country with so many neighboring countries. You set up plant in Malawi, then we are bordered by Tanzania on one side, bordered by Zambia on one side, bordered by Mozambique on one side. You would see that access to markets is very, very easy. Land-linked, but we've got ports that we use. The Nakala port is only a few kilometers from the hub, of the commercial hub of our city. So you'll be able to have access to markets in the region and beyond. And Malawi has subscribed to all these free trade regional blocks, apart from the continental free trade area as it is. Allow me therefore to leave it there for now and be able to pitch those discussions which, after the MITC has pitched and after one of the investors of Indian origin has also pitched their experiences in Malawi, then we can now start talking to the representatives of the Malawi government, sitting amongst ourselves according to our interests, so that we can have more meaningful conversations, because at the end of it all, what we really want is, having talked and having eaten some nice food, which I'm still smelling right now, then something must come out of this conversation. Contacts must be established, and people who want to invest in Malawi must be facilitated all the way through. And allow me, before I sit down, to also recognize the Arise group. Please stand where you are. I just saw you coming in. Now, we have partnered with the Arise team and together with Afrexim Bank to come up with industrial parks in Malawi, 4 of them. And one of them is now up and running, but we want to do a series so that we have 4 industrial parks, which are also special economic zones. And all that is really showing you the seriousness that Malawi government has on the Malawi 2063 pillar number 2, which is industrialization. As we trade, let us also industrialize. Let us set up plant, let us do manufacturing, let's do value addition, and partnering with Arise, setting up industrial parks which are special economic zones. I think that speaks to those that are really ready to set shop in Malawi. Good morning once again.
So the Honorable Minister of Trade has set the pitch. That's the policy and direction of the Malawi government. Thank you very much, Leader of Delegation and Honorable Ministers. Now I open space for presentations, starting with the first presentation, investment and trade opportunities existing in Malawi.
Just one momento to health minister.
Just wait. They have directed you to wait. Okay, so that you can finish. Yeah. So CEO Mr. Paul Bengue, thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency Ambassador. Let me recognize the Minister of Trade who just spoke, my minister, and let me point out his preempted part of my presentation. I think did a very good part of what I want to say. And let me also ride on the protocols observed, Honorable Ministers and Dr. Duga. So basically what I want to cover is just to make you ready to come to Malawi. I want to give you a short introduction of how to invest in Malawi, the opportunities that are available in Malawi, and then how we've made your coming to Malawi as seamless as possible. So, in a nutshell, I'll just cover a few issues regarding Malawi, and then look on to Malawi Investment and Trade Center, where I come from. I'm Director General of Malawi Investment and Trade Center. What we do to help you get settled in Malawi, invest in Malawi, and then some of the investment opportunities in Malawi. As my minister has already indicated, for those who have not been to Malawi, it's a very beautiful small country, the warm heart of Africa, in the middle of Africa, somewhere in southern Africa, with a population of about 20 million people, and the main exports are tobacco, tea, coffee and sugar. Those are the traditional exports. But now we've got emerging value chains in oilseed. We've got macadamia nuts, we've got soya, we've got different legumes that are also available for exports the investment opportunity that has already been clarified by my two honorable ministers earlier on when they talked about the ATM. So we are an agriculture based. So when you come to Malawi, you get any type of product, any type of agriculture product. When I say any type, I mean any type of agriculture product, and very good agriculture products. As already indicated, we are implementing a 2063 vision that has got 3 pillars, all to do with factory industrialization. So we've got agriculture productivity and commercialization, and then industrialization and urbanization, and we've got about 8 enablers to deal with that. Apart from that, we are also implementing the national export strategy, where our focus is to ensure that there's a lot of value addition in our products so that there's wealth creation. Our emphasis is on manufacturing, agro-processing, mining. All those are related to the ATM strategy. So that's so those are the 2 areas. We've got the Malawi 2063, and we've got export strategy as also one of the areas that we are implementing to ensure there is a lot of industrialization in Malawi. Coming back to the institution I represent, Malawi Investment and Trade Center, we promote, facilitate investment and exports in Malawi. And then we are like a focal point for local and foreign direct investment, foreign investors. If you come to Malawi, we provide aftercare services, we ensure that you are settled and provide aftercare services. We also brand Malawi as a preferred investment destination. That's our major role. We've got an additional role which the minister said towards the end. We are also an authority that is responsible for special economic zones. The act just passed recently, and then we are proud to say that we've already hit a contract deal with Arise, who will be developing one of the biggest special economic zone, which is about 417 hectares in Lilongwe. And we're hoping that we'll have lots of agriculture value addition in that particular special economic zone. Going on, why should you invest in Malawi? I don't think I can say more compared to what the minister said. We've got a very strong legal and judicial system. That's number one. And there's low political risk. You come to Malawi, everything is perfect. Business doesn't interrupt with politics. And then you can do very good business. We've got streamlined investment process, and we keep on improving. If you come to Malawi, as I'll explain shortly, it will take you 7 days to have an investment certificate, and then we'll ensure that you've met different institutions and you can set yourself to go. And then we've got attractive incentives, which I'll shortly talk about, and obviously the regional and international market is available. We've got the SADC regional market where you can trade the goods within the SADC region or the whole African, the AFCTA, and then the investment opportunities are limitless, as I'll cover in a bit. In terms of incentives, we've got general incentives for all priority sectors, and as the minister indicated, we've got the ATM, and then we also look at all those enabling areas. And then apart from that, we also have priority industries. So priority industries are 2. We've got the agro-processing. As I indicated, it's an agricultural country. And then we've got power generation, because we feel this is a strong enabler. For these priority industries, you would be able to have even 5 or 10 years tax holidays if you invest in those 2 particular areas. And then we've got industrial repair scheme for manufacturing, because we feel manufacturing is a very strong, important area for investment in Malawi. And we look forward to you coming in Malawi. In terms of the process, let me just briefly explain the process. When you come to the Malawi, supposing you're coming in 2 weeks, check the airlines, the tickets are available, you can book your tickets in 2 weeks, be in Malawi. We'll facilitate all your business engagements, ensure that you meet all the necessary important ministries related to the type of investment you want. And MITC will do that. We'll give you a red carpet. We'll do that without any charge, free of service. And then once you decide, you make a decision, you apply for an investment certificate with MITC, and that process takes about 7 days after you if you give us all the necessary documentation. And thereafter, once we give you the certificate, we'll be able to provide you with all the necessary support through our one-stop service center. Apart from different ministries that we interact, we've got desk officers. We've got in-house officers of the Malawi Revenue Authority that will be able to give you incentives in case you want to import machinery. For example, you're coming to Malawi to do agro-processing and you've got machinery to bring to Malawi. Our officer who is from Malawi Revenue Authority will give you straight away then a waiver on duty, so you don't have to hassle. It doesn't have to delay in the border or anything. And we've got the Department of Immigration. In case you have experts who have to come to Malawi, who deal with your permits. And then we've got Ministry of Lands who work on your requirements for land. All that is available within my offices and a one-stop service center. Let me expand on a bit on the investment opportunities, having listened to what the Honorable Minister has explained. In the agriculture and agro-processing, which is one of the ATM, we've got mega farms, as the Minister of Agriculture indicated, and we're looking forward to value addition, irrigation farming, agriculture financing, and all those. And in tourism, we've got ecotourism, construction and management of hotels, water sporting facilities, sports tourism, and so forth. And then in mining, we've got lots of opportunities in exploration and mining. And part of the second aim is manufacturing, which is one of the enablers, and where we're looking forward to beverages, pharmaceutical companies, fertilizers, light goods, textiles, and garments. And then the enablers, one of the major enabler, energy, we're looking at hydro, solar, wind, geothermal, gas, waste to energy. All those are opportunities that you can actually venture into when you travel, when you come to Malawi to invest. And then we've got infrastructure development. I won't talk much on infrastructure development because I've got my colleague from private-public partnership who talk about a few projects in infrastructure development that under public-private partnership. In case you want to see some of the projects, you can actually scan on the QR code. It will be also available at the table, the display table at the back after the presentation, so that you can see some of the projects that are available, private projects and some of the public projects. We try to line up about 30 projects for just this visit, so which you can actually see and look at. There are a lot more projects as long as you have our discussions with different respective officers from agriculture, from mining, from health, from education. All those have got different projects that you can actually decide to venture into. Having talked about that, I also want to zero in a bit on mining, because the couple days I've been at the conclave, I saw a lot of interest in people talking about mining in Malawi. We've got a lot of minerals in Malawi. Malawi has 6 vacant oil and gas blocks, 15 coal reserves, and abundant energy minerals including coal, uranium, petroleum and gas. And investment in these minerals can improve in different areas. You can look at minerals in phosphate, potash, gypsum. All those can be used for fertilizer production, or you can use some of the minerals, uranium for energy, coal for energy. All those are opportunities in mining. We've also got a lot of precious stones in Malawi. I know India is so popular with precious stones, and I'm sure that once you have a chance, you can also look at rare earth, minerals like niobium, rutile, different bauxite, graphite. These can also be used for manufacturing of products like batteries and all that. So the opportunities are limitless in Malawi. Having talked about all those areas, let me briefly touch on the trade opportunities in Malawi. So as I earlier indicated on, and then as also Minister indicated on, we can trade in different countries in Malawi, within Africa, to different parts of the world. We can trade to USA, you can trade to China, you can trade, we're trading with India. All those areas are available for trading, and the products that you can look into, we've got products like tea, groundnuts, sugar, macadamia nuts, rice, poultry products, coffee, beans. All those products are available. And then in the few slides, let me show a few products. Macadamia nuts, we are the number 10 producer in Africa, and we're producing about 10,000 metric tons per annum, and we are hoping to increase to double that by 2029. And we have soybeans. We're producing 300,000 metric tons, and we expect it to reach 1 million in the next 4 years. And we are actually the second largest producer in Southern Africa of soya. We can send soya anywhere. We've got very nice rice in Malawi. We're producing over 124,000 metric tons, and we expect it to double that in the next 3-4 years. High quality, very nice aroma. Once you taste Malawi rice, you never love any other rice in the world. You stop eating other rice, you think it's all trash. We've got products like sesame available. We also produce chilies, very good chilies, very aromatic chilies. I know when I came to India, it's a world where we're always eating chilies. Malawi produces one of the best types of chilies. We've got groundnuts. If you move around here, you find very tiny groundnuts. Come to Malawi, you find big groundnuts. We call it chalimbana. You'll be so surprised that do this type of groundnuts exist. Same thing, we've got beans, all types of beans. We're producing beans in over 200,000 metric tons, and we're going to double shortly, and diverse variety, kidney beans, red beans, sugar beans, and all that. We've got pigeon peas also available, over 400,000 metric tons produced, and we're going to double. When you come in, you can invest in all those areas and be able to send anywhere. We also produce cotton, over 20,000 metric tons, and it can be used in all different areas. And we're hoping your coming will actually value addition the cotton rather than exporting as raw material. Having talked about that, let me welcome you to Malawi. Feel free to come to Malawi as soon as possible. The procedures for exporting are straightforward, which we can explain later on. Thank you so much.
From Malawi, CEO meeting. Now, I will invite Mr. Patrick Kabambe, CEO for Public-Private Partnership. Since we have a limited time, then you have to compress your presentation. CEO Kabambe, please.
Our distinguished honorable ministers, deputy minister, our distinguished honorary consul, captains of the industry from India and Malawi, ladies and gentlemen. You've just had a presentation from my colleague who talked about investment opportunities in Malawi. I'm going to touch on the other side of investment. This is where we're talking about partnership between Malawi government and the private sector from India. As you can understand, Malawi as a developing country is going through difficult economic times, which limits the fiscal space. And therefore, we are looking at alternative ways of financing infrastructure projects. Maybe just a minute so that we get settled. Most of the presentations in the plenary have talked about PPPs, and I think India has done a lot of PPP projects. If you study literature on public-private partnerships, you're going to see a lot of case studies from India. So why should we come here to entice you to invest in these public-private partnership arrangements? As I said, we're looking at the vast experience from the government of India in the implementation of these projects. We are just starting up on looking at this approach. So we want to get the expertise from Indian investors in implementing these public-private partnership arrangements. So we're saying that we want to tap on the vast experience from India in implementing the PPP arrangements. In the last couple of days, we've met a number of investors that have done PPP projects in India. So the knowledge and expertise in this country is quite huge, and as a country, we want to tap from that. The other advantage is that we have risk mitigating measures in place. Malawi is a member of the Multilateral Investment Guarantee Agency, MIGA, of the World Bank. This means that all the political risks associated with PPPs are covered under this arrangement. Thirdly, we're looking at this as a long-term commitment between the investors and my government, and that there is a very good legal framework which allows us to implement these projects with a clear feasibility analysis in place. So I'm going to just highlight a few of the major PPP projects we have in the pipeline. I can't cover them all. We've shared, a compendium of these projects with the embassy, but I'm also going to share, a QR code for you to access more details. The first project we are projecting here is the northbound railway line. What you need to know is that the Malawi rail infrastructure was first put in place by Indian expertise. And there's no other better place to come than India to look at the expansion of that rail network. We're looking at expanding the rail network from central Malawi, going north up to Tanzania, so that the whole country can have very good rail infrastructure. Most of the commodities, imports and exports, are coming through the port of Dar es Salaam in Tanzania. And at the moment they are coming by road, which is a very inefficient way of transporting goods. So we want to explore opportunities of really connecting the rail line from central Malawi up to the port of Dar es Salaam. We've already have a concession in place that's operating the current rail infrastructure. So in terms of implementing PPP in the rail sector, we do have experience, and it's a very good concession that's in place. So we want to expand on that, and we invite Indian expertise in this area to help us expand this route. We're looking at the current volume of trade of goods moving through the corridor of the north. We estimate that not less than $138 million in annual revenue is what's coming through the northern routes. The other project that is on our pipeline is the airport city. When you land into Lilongwe and you arrive at the airport, you see that there's a lot of area around that airport that is not developed. The Airport Development Limited, which is a Malawi government company, is looking for investors to really expand this area, to develop it into a modern aero city. Last night I had an opportunity to have dinner at the aero city here in New Delhi, and I was amazed at the infrastructure that was there from private investment. So we want to explore that opportunity, and we will be shortly starting a feasibility analysis of that particular project. In the tourism sector, we have what is called the Golden Sands Eco-Tourism Facility. This is at Cape Maclear in Mangochi, one of the most beautiful places in Malawi. Cape Maclear has over 1,000 species of fish in very clear water, and it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. So we're looking for investment to develop an ecotourism facility at that particular site. The current estimate is at $24 million. We already have a feasibility study in place. We, at the moment, are talking to various investors who can develop this facility. So we are encouraging the investors from India to consider this project because we believe that this is another game changer for Malawi. The same tourism sector, Salima has, government has developed a place in Salima, and the intention is to develop an integrated tourism facility at this place. This is barely 100 kilometers from Lilongwe, the capital city. We want to develop a multimodal tourism infrastructure that covers, a tourist hotel, golf facilities, shopping centers, entertainment centers, golf centers, and everything. So this is another opportunity that we want to entice, the business community to consider that. The other project in the tourism sector is the Mulanje Cable Car Resort. Mulanje Mountain is the third highest mountain in Africa. It's a very beautiful place. At the moment, it's calling for investment to develop this into a modern tourism facility. So we've been requested by Ministry of Tourism to invite investors to consider putting up a cable car right on top of Mulanje Mountain with the supportive infrastructure like restaurants, hotels, and what have you, to really capture this pristine site in the southern part of Malawi. At the moment, we have the estimate of the project. Please, investors, we're looking for development of that particular site. This have been constructed using this model. Government doesn't have to spend a penny, so we want to see if we can develop that office infrastructure on behalf of my colleague here. We've already done the feasibility study, and we're at the moment about to launch a tender for investors to come and invest on this particular complex. The other project in the infrastructure side is the Malawi Communication and Regulatory Authority Office Complex, MACRA. MACRA is a regulator in the IT sector. They would like to develop an infrastructure, a one-stop modern building to house all the services that they provide in the ICT sector. That building will also have retail, facilities as well as a hotel. So it's an 8-story building right in the center of Lilongwe, facing capital city, Capital Hill. So it's a very, very prime land, and we are about to commence the feasibility study. So investors, please consider that opportunity. In the energy sector, this is a project that we are looking at. At the moment, most of the projects in the energy sector are around hydro, and they are all based around Shire River. The thinking is that we need to diversify our energy sources, and one of those sources is coal. We know that there are a lot of concerns about coal on environmental concerns, but we believe that we can do a proper feasibility analysis to mitigate and manage the risks associated with environmental aspects of the coal. So this is a project that is again on our book. The estimate is about $748 million. Within Lilongwe City, we have a project to develop a modern market infrastructure that will really change the face of Lilongwe. It will accommodate over 10,000 vendors and traders and offer office complex accommodation for 3,000 small-scale businesses right in the center of Lilongwe. We already have a feasibility study in place. We did float tenders, but the proposals were not really encouraging. So we'd like to entice the investors in India to consider investing in this infrastructure in the city of Lilongwe. In the health sector, we all have a number of projects. The Deputy Minister is here. What COVID showed us was that we should not forget investing in this sector. And we're looking at PPP arrangements in the health sector. The first one is development of diagnostic units across the healthcare delivery system. We know that India has very good expertise in the area of diagnostic services. So we're inviting investment in this area to develop this across the whole delivery system. We're also looking at renal dialysis as an area of interest, and again we'll be doing a feasibility study on that. These are just two projects, but the sky is the limit. We can consider many other projects in the health sector, including development of infrastructure, hospital infrastructure facilities. In the education sector, we have a request from one of the newest investors in Malawi, the Malawi University of Science and Technology. This is a new university which is created about 45 kilometers outside of Blantyre. They are in need of staff houses, recreation facilities, and many other infrastructure. The university is running. It's got classrooms, laboratories, but staff don't stay on campus. They stay and have to travel like 50 kilometers away. So we have this proposal to develop 300 staff houses, recreation facilities, and a shopping center so that we develop a university city in this part of Blantyre. Within the public universities, there's a critical demand for student accommodation. At the moment, we have over 15,000 to 20,000 students who are not able to access modern and good accommodation. They're having to stay outside campus in a very unpleasant environment. So we do have this need, and we're encouraging investors to consider putting up these low-cost but modern facilities for our public universities. We're looking at international bus terminals for our major cities, Blantyre, Lilongwe, Zomba. We already have a feasibility study on that. This will include international standard bus terminals as well as packets, so that we change the face of these cities. Much as I've highlighted these projects, we'd also like to indicate that the PPP law allows for unsolicited proposals and direct negotiation. What this means is that as investors, you should be free to come forward if you've got ideas on ventures you think can be done to support Malawi government. The law allows us to consider those projects, and therefore we're encouraging you to come forward if you've got ideas, proposals, concepts. Let's consider them, let's talk, and we're going to process them, because we're in need of investment in many areas. We have a QR code which you can scan, which has got details of these projects and many other projects, and we will be available to have further discussions during the after the session. And we have also other colleagues from agriculture, Greenbelt, energy, who can give you more details on some of these projects. So this is just a snapshot. You can get more details on our website, just down there, or on the QR code. Thank you very much, and I hope you find this interesting. Thank you.
Now I invite Paramount for investment experience in Malawi. Paramount.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Prakash Gedia, Managing Director from Paramount Holdings Limited. I am from Malawi. But let's start with the protocol. Our dynamic and young honorable ministers, distinguished guests, and my fellow investors and government officials from India and from Malawi, and the media personals who are present here, ladies and gentlemen. I am the Managing Director for the Paramount Holdings Limited, Malawi. We have a quite long journey in Malawi. So before I begin, I would like to extend my sincere thanks to Malawi government, Ministry of Trade and Industry, Ministry of Agriculture and Malawi Investment and Trade Center MITC, Mr. Paul. Their support has given us the opportunity to stand before you today and share the immense investment opportunity available in Malawi. Malawi we call the warm heart of Africa, and really it is a warm heart of Africa. I want to stand by acknowledging the presence of some of our key leaders, Honorable Sostan Gangwe, Minister of Trade and Industries, Honorable Sam Kawale, Minister of Agriculture, Honorable Halima Daudi, Deputy Minister of Health, Secretary for Trade and Industries, Mrs. Christina Zakeo, Secretary for Agriculture, Mrs. Madrina Mloza Banda, MITC CEO, Mr. Paul, Public and Private Partnership CEO, Mr. Patrick Kabambe, and our Malawi High Commissioner, H.E. Leonard Mangazi, and Honorable Dr. Vinod Dungarji. All media present, all delegates, brothers, sisters, and all protocol observed. To begin, I would like to tell you about our journey in Malawi as a Paramount Holdings. We started our journey in Malawi in 2007 as a Paramount Holding Limited in the construction business. And after starting that journey in 2007, we invested a lot in of sectors in the Malawi. So I can say thank you to the unwavering support from the government of Malawi and the people of Malawi, because our people is a smiley face. All Malawians are very hardworking and a very smiley face peoples you can't find anywhere in the world. We have since expanded our business into several key sectors. These include manufacturing polypropylene bags for farmers, because we are working in the agriculture and we are working for our Malawian farmers, especially how to improve our growth in the agriculture sectors. So we are manufacturing polypropylene bags for the farmers. We are adding the value to commodities like soybean, maize, We are importing the fertilizer and distributing the fertilizers to the Ministry of Agriculture through our flagship, our president programs of AIP, both chemical fertilizers and the organic fertilizers, approximately 100,000 ton per year. That is for our Malawian farmers. We are also exporting commodities such as sesame seeds, because as you know, Malawi is producing a very good natural sesame seeds, and there is a very huge demand in the Japan, in the Asian countries. So we are promoting also the sesame farmers in the Malawi, especially in the Blantyre and Chikwawa areas. We are also buying the pigeon peas and export to our main country, India, because as you people know, India is consuming pigeon peas a lot. And also soya beans to generate much needed forage for the country. Because when we are exporting, we are getting our requirement of the forex, because Malawi is a agriculture based country, and without export, they can't get the forex. So that is what we are doing there. I can say as a Prakash Gedia, as a Paramount Holdings Limited, as my own experience, Malawi is a very good country. Malawi has a very good weather. You can't find anywhere, especially in India. As our HE is saying, today is very hot, today is very cold. For Malawi, the weather is very pleasant and very good. We have a very fertile land. We have a beautiful place like a Lake Malawi. When we are talking about Lake Malawi, you are thinking like a pond, but it's not a pond. It's a sea of waters. There is a big jahaj is moving there. बड़े जहाज चलते हैं उसमें. So that is called a pond. We have a Mount Mulanje. It's a great place, Mount Mulanje, and then we have an amazing national park as an African beauty. Where we don't have a big five, we can't say we are in Africa. So we have all big fives in our country. And also to develop the business is required a good infrastructures, which we have already in the Malawi. And we have above this all, I can say my Malawian sister and brother, hard-working and English-speaking people from top to bottom. You know, without communication, you can't establish your business. So I can salute to my brothers and sisters, because whoever investor is coming, he can speak from the labor level up to the ministerial level in the English, and then he need to go to the second language to learn the Chichewa. So that is the biggest opportunity I can see as a language, because language is always the barrier everywhere in the world. Now, one more thing I can tell you, my brother and sisters, that Malawian peoples, they have a lot of passions. You know, we have in India, every day we have strikes, we have this problem, we have that problem. I never heard in Malawi that people are against the government and people are going for the strikes. We have challenges. Yes, we have challenges, whole world has challenges. But the people are accepting the challenges, and we are finding the solution for that. We are not fighting each other for that challenges. Yes, now, so I can say Malawi offers a very good opportunity, as Mr. Paul explained, Mr. Patrick already explained. Under our President Lazarus Chakwera's Vision 2063, because our President has a very great vision how to develop the country. That's why they created the 3 pillars, and we are just working on that. The country is open for the genuine investors to come to invest in Malawi to make a positive impact. We don't need the people who are talking, who are really serious, who are really genuine, really wants to invest to Malawi. Welcome to Malawi. Whether it's the energy sectors, agriculture sectors, mining sectors, fisheries, tourism and infrastructures, there are plenty of sectors ready for the growth, ready for the investment. Above all, might be my fellow investors are afraid that when we are going to Africa, what is the Immigration Act? I am staying in Africa since 1991. You can see 30 plus years. So, as a Malawian Immigration Act, it is investor friendly and supportive, ensuring that the process for obtaining permit and visas is straightforward and efficient. This welcoming environment further enhances the appeal of investing in Malawi, because we need two things: our safety as an immigration, visas and permit, so that is there. We need to communicate, English speaking people, that is there, and environment is open for all the investors. So as a Paramount Holdings, we invested in many areas and happy with the growth and development. I am going to die in Malawi. I don't have any other option at all. So I am going to die in Malawi, that's why we invested a lot in Malawi. Based on our experience, I can confidently assure you that Malawi is the right place to invest, because I am just saying from my heart. I love Malawi too much because I migrate from Tanzania to Malawi, actually. So as my fellow investor, as Indians, I can invite you to come Malawi, invest here and be part of the country's bright futures. Now really there is a bright futures are there. There is a less competition, but the very good market, very good products are available. Okay, now I am just closing. Once again, I am requesting you, welcome to Malawi. Malawi is a land of opportunity. I can say from my heart, is a land of opportunity, whatever sector you can put the finger. As my ministers, honorable ministers, trade assure you in his statement that you never regret investing in our country, Malawi. And I repeat, again I repeat, and same as I assure you, won't regret your decision to invest in Malawi. आओ मलावी में एक साथ इन्वेस्ट करो, मलावी के ग्रोथ में पार्टनर बनो और अपने प्रॉफिट के भी पार्टनर बनो. तो that is my humble request to everyone. Zikomo and namaskar to everyone. Now, just for 2 minutes, I can show some slides what we invested, so at least you people has a little bit idea okay, what we invested in Malawi. Can you turn? Yeah, actually, we invested a lot in the Malawi. The constructions, we are also doing the project with the World Bank, African Development Bank and Malawi government projects. That is what we are doing. Move ahead. We also invested in the manufacturing plant. We have a quite very good plant from Lohia. Might be you people knows about polypropylene bag plant Lohia. Is an ultra-modern plant we have in Malawi. We are producing 200,000 polypropylene bag every day. We have a soya processing plant because we are processing soyas. We are also selling, is a soya chunk, is a very popular things in the Malawians and they are just buying that things very nicely. We are also have a refinery to process the soya oil. This is all project. We are also working in medicals. We established almost 50 plus medicals with the medical equipment from India actually. So that is a proud to be Indian. We import the medical equipment from India and we establish in our hospitals. This is like our higher sections and that other sections. Move ahead. Move ahead. This is like a residential house property. Why I am saying I am going to die in Malawi? Because we invested a lot in property. Our lot of monies are there. So that's why I am just saying that when I am saying we invested a lot means I can feel a security from government is there. Once again I am welcoming you all. Welcome. If you need any help, MITC is there. As a person, as a Prakash Paramount Holdings, I am also available. Feel free with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That's private sector experience for Malawi investors. And now we are opening for plenary for Q&A. So I request if Honorable Minister can chair this one, helped, assisted by the CEOs. According to your direction, we will take that one.
Great. So we thought it would be easy for the benefit of everyone if we could have a Q&A session instead of breakout groups, because I think the original plan was to go into different corners and it was going to be a little bit chaotic having to move people around. But also for the benefit of everyone, we could have Q&A session so that we can respond to some of your pertinent questions. I don't know if we have a roving mic or if we're going to take one of these mics to go around. The technicians will guide us on that one. So maybe we can take a series of questions, we'll respond to those questions, and then we'll take another round of questions. Thank you. Unless everything was explained very well and there are no questions, that's fine as well. Thank you. A presentation. First of all, I would like to express our gratitude to our sponsors for making this event possible, and I would like to give an opportunity for the sponsors to make the presentation, and then I'll come back after that to take a couple of questions. Thank you.
India and APAC for WalletSoft. I'll just take 5 minutes of your time to explain this technology and to see whether there is further interest in adopting this technology in your beautiful country. Like we all know, our face and our thumb, all human beings' face and thumb are unique to them. Likewise, we all sound differently, right? It means our voice also is unique to us. Now what makes this unique voice is those 70 body parts within us which are unique to us and which are helped to generate voice in a human being. So we, WalletSoft, which is a US-based software company, existence in last 2 decades, have almost done a 7 years research to understand what is this uniqueness when a person speaks. And after 7 years of intensive research, we figured out those 200 characters which defines a human's voice. Now this technology has become so prevalent, all thanks to deepfake, which has really growing a lot, thanks to the artificial intelligence, which is creating a lot of deepfake in the market. Now how do our technology help? From a biometric standpoint, face and thumb biometric are the static form of biometric, while voice is the dynamic form of biometric. So deepfake recognition becomes the bread and butter for our technology. Our success rate is more than 99%. I'll just play a couple of videos just to tell you how this technology works and what are the use cases. Generally, wherever an authentication is happening on the digital platform, the technology can come into place and give a layer of biometric over and above the traditional way of authentication, which could be an OTP or a password. Now, whether the person who is inputting that OTP or password is the account holder or not, that confirmation can happen from a biometric layer of authentication. Let me play you a couple of videos. First video is on the deepfake, where our technology can identify whether it is a human voice or a machine voice. And the second one is how the technology takes the voice print of a human being and authenticates it.
क्या आप मुझे मेरे क्रेडिट कार्ड की पिछले बकाया और अदायगी की तारीख बता सकते हैं? 3 4 7 5
What I'm going to do is I'm going to play this video once again. Just going to remind you what it is. The green line that you saw is the real human voice, and the red one are the deep fake created by machine.
क्या आप मुझे मेरे क्रेडिट कार्ड का पिछला बकाया और अदायगी की तारीख बता सकते हैं? 7 3 6 7 5 2 3 1.
This is a human who is talking, and technology has identified it as a human being.
मुझे मेरे क्रेडिट कार्ड की पिछली बकाया और अदायगी की तारीख बता सकते हैं?
This is machine who just spoke.
7 3 6 7 5 2 1.
So this is what our technology does: real-time identification of deep fake.
रजिस्ट्रेशन कैसे करना है ये आप जान चुके हैं और ये भी देख चुके हैं कि किस तरह ग्राहक का वॉइस सैंपल डायरेक्ट स्टॉप हुआ है। अगर वॉइस वेरिफिकेशन के दौरान ग्राहक एक पहली दिखाता है एंटर यूजर आईडी PURAD पूरक लॉगिन और अब माइक का निशान दबाते ही स्क्रीन पर जो 9 अंकों का नंबर फ्लैश होगा उसका मैं उच्चारण करूंगा। इसमें से एक डिजिट का उच्चारण मैं गलत करूंगा। देखिए क्या होता है 175585529 पासवर्ड नॉट वेरीफाइड। देखा आपने मैनेज शॉट वॉइस बायोमेट्रिक टेक्निक कितनी सटीक है। मैंने एक डिजिट का उच्चारण गलत किया तो उसने मेरे इस प्रयास को तुरंत असफल कर दिया। आपने आपके सामने एक उदाहरण मेरे साथ में मेरी कलीग जो कि ये प्रयास अभी करेंगे।
अब मैं पूरब के अकाउंट में लॉगिन करने का प्रयास करूंगा। मेरा दावा है कि मेरी आवाज सुनकर ये तकनीक इसको रिजेक्ट कर देगी। 630-793-226। तो देखा आपने मेरी आवाज को इस तकनीक ने रिजेक्ट कर दिया।
So as you actually saw this, what has happened here is this account holder owns this account and his voice gets registered against his account number. Now if any other person tries to log in and puts the OTP using this voice, it won't get accepted. So this is what our technology does, assigns the voice of a human against the phone number. I'll just take one more minute just to give a background that back in 2022-2023, I was the CFO for Rajasthan Royals. I believe everyone knows the IPL that goes in India. I have been associated with Rajasthan Royals for almost 2 years, and post that we are now also the investors in Rajasthan Royals. We also own CPL, which is the Caribbean Premier League, and which is going to happen next month. We also own South Africa Premier League, which happens in the month of Jan. So it's been a good journey of 3-4 years when this all sports in form of cricket has launched in countries like Africa, and really helpful to tell you that the experience has been great, and we surely feel that South Africa Premier League is going to be the bigger one in near future. Thank you.
I feel like it's more technical. I feel like if we can have the technical experts from Malawi, because the rest of us are not following. It's a jargon. It's proper if you can get on one-to-one with the appropriate officials. It doesn't make sense like me. What is it that is talking about? So, but it shouldn't be technical, so that the people should understand, and we are not understanding anything. So in my view, you better narrow it down and talk to the right, as the minister has directed, their officials from the ICT sector. Talk to them so that we proceed, so that the honorable minister can wind up. Yeah, I think that should be the direction. Honorable Minister, I think that's the best way.
So I understand you want to make AI first company on multiple domains.
primarily defense. So we are short on time. So we want to quickly show you our different solutions.
We can't hear you, so come here. You are not audible at all. What is it that you are saying?
Am I audible now?
And 5 minutes.
Yeah, perfect. So yeah, so as I was saying, so we want to quickly show you a few things as we have 5 minutes. So one is like what we are working on defense and purely on surveillance and security. Back. Okay, I'll just quickly give you a brief. So we have multiple solutions we're working with Indian Army. So one is like the threat detection system, and that purely works on facial recognition, and we implement it in multiple villages in Kashmir, and the solution works on purely anomaly detection using AI. So Raviji, if you want to quickly say.
Hello. See, I'll just put things in a very brief scenario. Okay, for any country, defense is a major thing which they fighting against the security, either with the borders or inside the country. So what we are doing here now, how multiple technologies can fuse together to give a robust solution. So we are the first company in India, and working with Ministry of Defense and Army Innovation Cell, we have brought drones into the surveillance system, drones into the agriculture system, how drones can be used in a multiple way. So this is all the certain things which we are doing, right from warfare and right from the drone applications and the AI implementation in understanding the movements of the people, and we have done in the electro-optics for deep sea surveillance and for a long range surveillance. The next warfare scenario is being simulated, and before my soldiers goes to the warfront, they have the entire combat operation simulated and they can go there. So the next one. So normally you all know about a surveillance system. Surveillance system gives you an alert. So if anything happens, it gives you an alert. But the reaction is your QRT system, your quick response team will go and neutralize the threat. We are the first one to introduce drone as the reactive system. The first respondent is drone. So what happens when the first respondent is drone? We have created an automated drone platform without human interface. If a surveillance system detects any alert, immediately my drone goes there and it understands the system and neutralizes the system.
Okay. I think I will intervene from here. Then you can do it on one-to-one.
Yeah.
Let's wind up. Honorable Minister, this is your space now. Yeah. Is there a roaming mic? Roaming mic? You can stand there and maybe come here and ask your question. You introduce yourself, and yeah, you are free to ask. Please come forward. We don't have time. No, come here. You're not free.
Good afternoon, my name is Kanchi Batra from Diplomatist magazine. I want to ask the visiting honorable ministers present here from Malawi, your key takeaways from this visit to India. How would you like to summarize how fruitful the meetings were with the Indian companies? How do you want to summarize this visit to India? Thank you.
I don't think they got your question.
I want to ask about the key takeaways.
Okay. Next question. Let's have a round of 5 questions. Yes. Come. I don't think. Where is the mic? You should be there and give the people.
दो.
I'm from SME Futures. It's an online platform. I want to ask you that what are you expecting out of this visit? How much ABI you are expecting out of India? And can you also briefly tell us how many days it took a business to set up in Malawi? What's the process?
Did we get the question? Okay. Next one. Next question. We shouldn't keeping quiet. So, no question. So, it was clear. Then I give it to the panel first, and then maybe Honorable Minister can come in. Did you get the question, the panel up front? So respond. There were two questions. Did you get them? Yeah, so I need a response from you.
Thank you, moderator. I think the first question was about key takeaways from this conclave. And I think from our perspective, we notice a lot of opportunities for building partnerships between the private investors in India and in Malawi. I think there's a lot of to learn from India, and we as a country, we need to get our house in order, make sure that the process that we already have, the good framework that we have, and that we are able to support the potential investment opportunities that are there. So my key takeaway is that there are opportunities. It's up to us now to unlock those opportunities. Thank you.
If I read it right, you said how long would it take to start a business in Malawi? The first thing is for you to register your company as a limited company, and you can do it online while you are here. But what might be important is to identify somebody who can be a director in Malawi, not one of your shareholders, just a director in Malawi, who can help you undertake certain processes in Malawi. That can be done within a day or two if you've got all the documentation. We can share you the website for registrar of companies. Once you register that company, it's for you to make the decision, the type of company you want to do, and then you apply for an investment certificate with my institution, Malawi Investment and Trade Center. And that process takes about 7 days. So we'll request you to give us the business plan of your business, the information about the shareholders, and then the type of business is part of the business plan. Once it's reviewed with my team, then we offer you the investment certificate, and that's it. You're free to start a business. So if everything is in order, it shouldn't take you more than 10 days. But then sometimes it's up to you to undertake some meetings with respective institutions that you might want to be dealing with it regarding your business. Yeah, thanks.
I can add on this, our CEO. It is a one center. You don't need to go to the different office. When you are going only to his office, the land applications, incentives, your MRA means taxations, registrations, also immigration, your status, everything should be processed from his office. So it is very easy and convenient for the investors.
I think we have to close now, and we invite the Honorable Minister of Agriculture. Maybe. But he is also saying he wants to give the momentum. So there's a lot of, yeah, sure. Okay, thank you.
Come forward. Madam, please. I'm sorry, madam, you were late. Yeah. So now we are presenting a memento to Madam Minister, Deputy Minister Health. A big hand for this. And please have patience. There is a lunch also.
within 2-3 minutes, Honorable Minister is requested to finish. After that, we'll have a lunch together, please.
And after the closing ceremony, there is lunch to be served, so don't go away. And that's the opportunity that you have on one-to-one basis with the team from Malawi. This is now a great honor and privilege to invite Honorable Minister of Agriculture. Over to you.
Well, Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you very much for joining us today as we were pitching some of the investment opportunities we have in the country. As I said in my last statements, I said Malawi is ready. Is ready to welcome you. We have the MITC and the PPPC in place to welcome you and to help you understand the processes that you can take to invest in Malawi. And recently we launched what we're calling the Malawi investment package in the agriculture sector. For those of you who are interested in the agriculture sector, what opportunities, incentives that are available for you. But in general, we look forward to engage you more and most importantly to see you in Malawi in the few weeks to come. Thank you very much and have a blessed day. Thank you.
प्रणाम नमस्कार, मैं विनोद दुग्गड़, ऑनरी कॉन्सुलेट ऑफ मलावी। आज हम लोग का मलावी डे था, तो मलावी की देश से 3 मिनिस्टर्स आए हुए थे, उनके सिटिंग एमपी आए हुए थे, ट्रेड सेक्रेटरीज आए थे। जो हमारे प्रधानमंत्री का विज़न है इंडियन अफ्रीकन का ट्रेड बढ़ाने के लिए, उसी मकसद से वो इधर पधारे हैं और इस देश में उनका वार्म वेलकम हुआ और उनके ट्रेड के बारे में हमें जानने को मौका मिला और यहाँ से हम लोग क्या व्यापार कर सकते हैं ताकि हम लोग ग्लोबल तरक्की कर सके, विकसित जो भारत का विचारधारा विकसित पूरा कॉन्टिनेंट हो सके, उसी मुद्दे के ऊपर में चर्चा हुई। धन्यवाद, जय हिंद।
Thank you. Actually, please tell me today.
I'm Leonard Mengezi, Malawi High Commissioner to India. Today we have held Malawi Day, one of the most important investment showcasing meeting that we have had. With chief guest was Minister of Trade, Honorable Sosten Gwengwe, who explained the importance of doing business, especially investment with India in all areas of trade, economy and business. So today we had presentations from the Malawian government about stating the investment opportunities that exist in Malawi. And then we had business captains from Malawi and also business executives from India. They shared ideas and now they are interacting in order to exchange information for business captains from India to invest in Malawi.
Thank you.